Hi, welcome to Autumn Harvest Fest. My name is Patty Kennedy, and I am the program coordinator here over at the Heritage Farm. We're going to see a whole bunch of neat stuff today here at the farm, and then we're going to go on over, and Mary Rice is going to get to talk to you by the cabin. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to see today, whole bunch of stuff to do. Come with us. Thanks. Hello, I am here today with, what's your name?
Dave Falco.
Dave, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Very exciting that you're here today. What have you done so far? Anything?
No, we just got here, but we were here last year, and it was a great family experience, and we really enjoyed it. So we decided to come back.
Wonderful. What did you do last year? Are you excited about seeing the same things?
Yeah, absolutely. Daughter wants to see the chickens and play with, decorate some of the pumpkins. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Well, yes, the pumpkins are right down the way there, and you'll have a great time. I saw them coming in with a whole bunch of stuff to get decorated.
Well, excellent. We're ready for it.
I have Monique here.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. Monique is becoming our resident bee expert, you might say. She's out here today doing honey and showing all of the different properties of honey and things like that. So I'm going to let you talk for a minute.
Okay. So we are showing off our bee boxes today since we have some in the back of our garden. This is our first year that we have them, and they've helped tremendously pollinate our garden. So we're really happy that they're here. But it's really fascinating to see the inside of a bee box because most people don't get to see what happens inside. So you have these called supers, which you could extract your honey from. And all of these are inside the bee box, as well as their brood where they live. And you want to make sure that you leave one super in there for the bees in the wintertime so they have something to eat. And then we have a few different kinds of honeys here that you could taste. Because depending on what types of flowers the bees pollinate and collect nectar from changes the color of the honey. So we have buckwheat honey here, and we have some wildflower honey from our Spring Valley source. So that's it.
And how do you tell the difference between a good bee and a bad bee?
That's right. A good bee is fuzzy, a bad bee is smooth. So always remember that. It's a furry, fuzzy bee if it's good. If it's smooth, then it is not.
Yes, and the ones that are smooth are yellow jackets.
Yes.
They're not actually bees.
No, they're not honeybees. That's also another common misconception. Everyone generalizes them as bees, where actually honeybees are honeybees, and then we have yellow jackets and wasps and hornets, which are all not good.
So I have Betsy here. She is one of our volunteers, but she actually comes all the way from Wisconsin to come out and hang out with us for our special events. She is a gem. She knows a whole bunch of stuff about everything. And today she's making skeps, which is one of the ways that you can keep bees. We just learned a little bit about bees, and we're making the skeps now. So what exactly are you doing? How does it work?
Okay, to make a bee skep, what we're doing, basically we're using straw. The longer the straw, the better. And we're making one continuous rope. We keep feeding extra straw in, and we're coiling it around and sewing it to each other. If you want to get a nice dome shape, that's what we have on this skep. And then you leave a hole, excuse me, for the bees to come in and out. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, there you go.
When the bees come in, they'll go in and they'll start making their honey in their combs at the top and fill them in. Okay, and so it's a very easy, it's a pretty simple design, but they've been using bee skeps for centuries. They probably started with the ancient Egyptians and certainly went up even into the early 20th century. So
Very cool, very cool. And we have a little helper here. Can you give your name? Alice, what are you doing today? What's your big chore? I know you have one.
yeah, what's your chore? What are you supposed to be helping with?
Help Nima.
You're helping Nima.
Yeah. Are you pounding
Are you pounding the straw?
No.
No. Well, she helps you strip the straw, because once you get the straw from the fields, you have to take off all the leaves and take off the seed heads so that you have just the long stems to make your skeps. So.
She really is doing a good job. So I'm here with one of our longtime volunteers, Barb. Nice to see you again. And what exactly is your job today?
Okay, we're wrapping apples that have been picked from our orchard here, and we're wrapping them in paper and putting them in the crate surrounded by straw so that eventually they can be put into the root cellar and they will be preserved through the winter time. And they could even either be eaten by hand or used to make applesauce or whatever, any product made with apples.
What is the point of wrapping them? Why do you want to wrap them?
Well, to keep them separated so that if one spoils, it won't ruin the rest of the apples. Yeah.
It really is a true statement. If one spoils, it ruins the bunch.
Well, that's why we try to prevent that. That's why we're wrapping them and putting straw in between so that
Wonderful.
they're not touching each other. Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, so welcome to the cabin. This is one half of the event, and we have lots of things going on. We have food for sale over here. We have roasted corn that's being provided by the JCs. We have live music going on in the distance. And over in the cabin, we actually have different kinds of pioneer dolls. We have leavings dolls, which are just pieces of cloth where you kind of tie them with a little bit of cotton batting in there to kind of make a head. And these are the kind of dolls that would have been made in the old days with scrap material. In those days, dresses and shirts and all that would be handed down from the biggest person to the next and so on until finally the clothes couldn't be worn anymore, and then they'd be used to make dolls. We also have cattail dolls going on in there and corn husk dolls. The other things we have going on here at the cabin are corn shelling, corn grinding, cornbread making, and butter making. And in addition, if that's not enough, we have all sorts of interpreters here, storytelling interpreters, interpreters from the 1880s and the 1700s. So if you've never been to the Autumn Harvest Fest, this is something you really need to get out and do. We have tin punching going on for the children, and we also have them making some nature necklaces. So there's a lot going on, and I'm not even sure I covered everything, but you're really invited to come out to the Autumn Harvest Festival. It's a lot of fun, and it's spread out through the whole site here at Spring Valley. Now I have one of our volunteers, Renata, one of our good, faithful volunteers, and she's inside the cabin working with the children. So tell me what it's been like. What have you been doing, and what have they been making?
They have been making cattails, headbands, bracelets, and dolls. And it's a bit of a challenge, and so we do need to help them. It's a little difficult for us sometimes, too. They're also making leftover cloth dolls, and then corn husk dolls, and they seem to be enjoying this and wanting to make more than just one item, so they really are enjoying it.
I want to thank you for joining Patty and me on our little tour through the Autumn Harvest Festival. It's something that involves the entire site, and we'd love to see you be a part of it.